Accessing archive. Authorizing. Access granted. Accessing file.
We met on your show, Isoropia Radio,
Yes.
which is hosted on KRTU's 91.7 FM here in San Antonio. How did you start that show?
Well, the story of Isoropia Radio started because I was being part of a project from Nathan Felix, which is a composer of classical music. And we were doing this show for the Emma Hotel. And in one of the rehearsals, he mentioned like, hey, I'm going to be on radio tomorrow, Wednesday, at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m., don't remember. And so if anybody's free, is welcome to join. It will be on KRTU. And Wednesdays used to be my days off from my previous or my job at the time. So I was like, okay, like I can go. I would like the experience of radio, but of course I had no idea of like what I was going to.
Sure.
And I walk into the studio. I was fascinated. You see, it's beautiful. All these like records, and I always love music, so I asked Cory Cook, the musical director and the host of the show in the morning. I was like, well, is this hosted by students or how it works? And he told me like we have volunteers on the Indie Overnight, and it's by request, you do this, blah blah. So I was like, I want to do this. Another like thing that the radio started was because I clearly remember I was around 12, like early teenagers, and listened radio. I'm from Mexico, San Luis Potosí. So this radio station that I used to like, it was only like two of them that I was between those two. I'm like, they always play the same music. Like, yes, it's a nice song. It's what is popular right now, but it's a lot of more music out there. And we're not able to hear it on radio. So I remember just telling myself like, I should have a radio show. And this is me 12 years old.
That's awesome.
So years later, this happened, and I sent an email to Cory Cook after the interview, and I said like, look, I've been collecting this music, is what I do, and if I can have an opportunity, if I can have like a segment or something, I would love to share it. I sent him a playlist of like what it's Isoropia about, which is all genres. He liked it, and he was like, okay, yeah, it's yours. What time works for you? Again, Wednesdays used to be my days off, so I'm like, you have any Tuesdays? So I can,
stay out late.
Yes, and everything just like matches. Very, very easy and also unexpected. I took a couple of classes, like they trained me. My first show was Cory Cook was there assisting, but I still feeling like I'm not really good on like talking about music. I'm just really good on like curating. So that's the story of Isoropia.
I think you're a great talker. I've always enjoyed our interviews.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. They've been cool. But I have noticed, there's such a wide variety of music that you curate for the show. When did you start discovering all these like kind of underground electronic acts and all the kind of more dancey, vibey stuff that, that you listen to and you put on your show? When did you discover those?
How I discovered it? Well, I'm trained on classical. I play violin when I was like 8 years old through all my 18. So 10 years on an orchestra. And my father was a DJ on his earlier, young.
Cool. So it runs in the family a little.
It runs in the family, but it's funny because I don't feel like I didn't knew that I was doing what my father did. You know, even when I mix, I was like, oh, my father was a DJ. I want to be a DJ. Never, 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 never. So I think it was very, very natural come to like me the desire of like, I like this song and I like this one too.
Right.
So classical was like part of my training, and also the electronic. And I also just mentioned something that like my father was also kind of like guilty on like me being into electronic, because he showed me a concert of Tiesto.
Okay.
Remember this in
Tiesto.
2005?
Oh yeah, I used to get down to some Tiesto.
Right? Yeah. And I saw the show and like the live collaboration. So I was like, wow, this is beautiful. So modern, high energy. Everybody's happy. I was too young to like go to parties like that, but so I went into electronic.
Okay.
So that contrast between classical during the days, Monday to Friday kind of, and then on the weekends I used to go to the park, go like for a run with my headphones, the little iPod, listening like high beats and so, and everything in between. It's just like I was like also a time on like probably my early 20s when I was very into reggae. Reggae, like I become more like, okay.
Did you go to Marley Fest?
I did.
Yeah.
I did actually once in Austin.
Yeah, it was cool. I went for a number of years, and it's for a good cause.
Yes. And then actually from reggae, I was also really into like hip hop. So you know how they have like relative, like after a few hours of reggae, you want something more upbeat.
Sure.
And so it's been through the years. I didn't like look for like, I'm going to do a mix of all genres. It's just been like coming and...
It's kind of what you've naturally been exposed to.
Yes.
Did you ever listen to internet radio?
Yes, I remember listening in a job that I had, just listening. I remember selecting like the genres. Chill Out was also another one that I was like, and Shazam. Well, now Shazam has been a great way to.
That's the one I grew up using, is Shazam, which I think paired with Winamp, which is it used to be like a Windows-based internet radio platform where you can tune into different people's kind of internet frequencies through Shazam, I think. So, but also that is where I really stepped into loving electronic music, because I actually grew up, my brother Robert, who's the CEO of our company Sheath, he was probably like 17, 18 years old when I was like 4 or 5. So like what he would listen to, I would kind of like be getting a little bit of a taste of, and he was listening to like Eminem and all this like Limp Bizkit and all this like rap stuff. So as a kid, I'm hearing all this like kind of adult rap music, which is kind of funny. And I grew up kind of being a fan of that, but also rock music like Linkin Park. And I love that Linkin Park Jay-Z collaboration album. That really started opening.
Linkin Park Jay-Z,
yes,
that's a good one.
Yeah, good times. But eventually I started playing video games with some of my friends, and we would just be kind of glued to our computers for some of the really hot summer days, and we would want to listen to music. And I would kind of use this Winamp to surf different stations, and eventually I found that I gamed particularly well with electronic music, and it's kind of high BPM, kind of gave me like a focus mode, and then I could play really well, and it felt like it was on a more elevated vibration. And after days and weeks of listening to all these stations, you start to learn who's who, like who's Tiesto, and who Darude is, or whatever. It's like kind of these more traditional like trance anthem tracks, and that eventually led to more obscure discoveries like Aphex Twin. Have you ever listened to him?
Yes,
Aphex Twin? Yeah, like he's kind of more on the weird electronic side. It's not so kind of upbeat and happy. Some of his tracks are, certainly, but then I just kind of fell into this IDM experimental music tinge or journey that really just like kept me digging deeper into music that isn't played on the radio and isn't even played on internet radio, and that really helped me kind of gain my sense of taste around what I use to curate our label Time Wheel with and our collective Time Wheel with. So yeah, sorry, I kind of wanted to rant, but that's a little how I discovered all these different genres and eventually had the passion to create a radio show as well. And the Time Wheel radio show is we have people come on and actually do their own mix. So they curate their own mixes and we just kind of host and let them play whatever they want for an hour.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so tell us about Isoropia a bit and how you've been affected by kind of the whole global crisis right now and how you're trying to keep it alive and stuff.
Isoropia. Well, yeah, I do try to keep it alive. What I've been doing right now is go on Instagram Live. And I love it. Of course, what I still do in the playlist. I hope, like, I wish someone be like, what to listen, because I've been in that position where, like, I don't know what to listen today. So I want, like, someone put the mood to me, you know? But you need to type, like, reggae, or you need to type electronic music or pop music. So Isoropia is, I guess, the option to just, like, don't know what to expect and navigate from different genres, and it's one that you feel like, oh, I like this, so let me hear more about this artist. Of course, the local collaboration of the local artist is like what makes it alive.
Yeah.
This is also how I didn't expect this when I started on 2017. I was just like, well, I want to just make playlists and share it, and hopefully people loves it. But then I started getting like interest, I guess, or like being asked about, like, hey, I made this music, you might play it at your show.
Yeah.
I'm like, why you don't come to the show and present your own music?
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, so it was like just great.
Yeah.
And since then we've been like, you've been here in the show like three times.
Yeah, and
so
I've brought other people too that we work with. And
yeah. So
it really becomes a node of music community, you know, your show and the Indie Overnight whole like KRTU situation, because it's really that one channel that gives, you know, the local musician some spotlight. You know, everything else, 995 KISS, 98.5, all this stuff, they just play the same stuff over and over and over, and you have to be like a mega pop star or whatever to end up on it, except for like maybe a few infrequent like spotlights that maybe KISS does and has someone on their show in the morning, like really early in the morning. But more and more teens are tuning in at night during your show, and I remember it used to be like a pastime for me and some of my friends to sit in the car at night, kind of get away from our parents and kind of be bros and have deep chats and listen to new music. But we would always turn to 91.7 FM and listen to the late night stuff. And we would be like, this is the coolest music on the radio, you know? Like, so that's how I became interested in that channel and started kind of, I think I did a similar thing, reached out and said, hey, can you play my music, or can I come on? Or I don't remember how it happened, but eventually we got, you know, kind of a spotlight on your show, and it was a lot of fun. And I remember I chopped my little podcast part. I chopped my little interview out of our full show and put it on the internet and stuff for a little bit. And it was cool. It's cool to, like, it adds content to your arsenal, but also the artist to be able to share, you know, hey, here's my new interview with Isoropia, and I'm premiering a new song, that type of thing.
Yeah, of course, that's what it is for. Like, really, if like you guys, producers, like local music was like, they turned the show into something live, something with real interaction.
Right.
I don't think like if I was just by my own and just playing the music will be the same as how it's been. I also want to keep like the variation of like genres and expect the playlist, but of course like local artists are like what is the let's use the tools, let's use like the radio and put out what is happening on our generation. And so I'm really happy. Really, well, right now the studio is closed or is limited,
Yeah.
you know. But I've been keep doing it on Instagram for now. What I do is just keep creating the playlist on Spotify. I share the link for you to listen. So I just talk a little bit like why I choose those tracks. And just recently, I'm talking about the last two shows. I've been doing some like no interview, just like chatting with with musicians on Instagram Live.
Oh, cool.
So we just connect, do like talk. It's available for 24 hours. So we just,
Yeah.
you know, it's a passion.
Of course.
You cannot just leave it like that because times are changing, and it's also make me realize like, all right, we have to figure it out as how we can keep ourselves positive and keep ourselves like see how other musicians are doing or
Right.
how is they affecting to them. So yeah, it's still there. I also hope I miss KRTU. I miss the studio so much. So I really hope will be able to come back.
I think it will.
Yeah.
I think it'll come back. I think this is a temporary kind of phase that we're in as a culture. When this first happened to China, they eventually came back. You know, they're back to kind of business as usual, as I understand it. So America got hit pretty hard. You know, we were a lot less kind of maybe responsible than other countries that got through it a little quicker.
Yeah.
But I think we'll be back, you know, and you'll have your show back on 91.7. And
Thank you, world.
Yeah. And
you can have your show back.
yeah. Well, what's cool is, you know, like what you're doing still is providing a platform for even the future, you know, because I can see you doing this for, you know, years coming. Where can people find that Instagram that you were talking about?
Well, the Instagram is isoropia_radio.
Okay. Can you spell Isoropia for
Yeah.
us?
ISORROPIA.
Okay.
Isoropia means balance
Oh, cool.
in Greek.
Great. I like it. Speaking of balance and what you're up to recently, I noticed you're really in a yoga flow lifestyle. On your personal Instagram page, most of your content is based around, you know, you practicing yoga or you kind of doing very healthy lifestyle things, you know? How did you get into yoga, and when did you get into yoga?
You know what? I think moving to Austin was like a awakening on my health. I always try to like pay attention on my like health, I would say. But definitely Austin was seeing people running every day, seeing like the culture that is all about to eating more organic, supporting locals, gluten-free everywhere, vegan tacos, vegan chorizo, vegan barbecues, like everything is like into that. So
It's just as good as the normal stuff too, if not better.
It's delicious.
You know, it's so
really,
good.
Really good. So I just signed up for the studio. I was practicing yoga before here in San Antonio still, but I don't feel like I really enjoyed it because, you know, you have to be looking at the instructor every
Sure.
2 minutes. So it's very distracting. So I just signed up for a studio after being watching YouTube videos or like getting my workouts on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's try yoga. I always been like it, like the aesthetic. I'm you know, very into like aesthetic and colors, photography. So I love that. And well, what you see on my Instagram is like, I guess, self-motivation because I don't know, I guess it's a thing about sharing what makes you feel like, oh, that looks good.
Right.
Oh, that was better.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I didn't do that before and now I'm able.
You're kind of keeping progress.
And also like share like we all can start at any point.
Totally.
Like I'm 31 now. That I started seriously, I would say like really last year. So I was 30 years old, and of course you think like I'm 30, no, I'm not gonna do it. Like no, you can definitely like start at any point.
There's people 50 years old doing incredible
That-
yoga.
Oh yeah. But like
Mhm.
starting at
Yeah, and even doing that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So just signing up to the studio, and I was honestly like 3 months after, I feel like, oh wow, okay, I love this thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'm gonna leave it. I even thinking like I wanna teach it. I wanna like I'm gonna really go more into that direction. So
Right.
I think was like the inspiration of just like, all right, let's sign up to the studio and see how I feel. I would
Mhm.
not do anything to push, and yeah.
How do you feel? How does yoga make you feel?
It is definitely challenge and calming. Challenging in the way that, of course, a diet helps you mood,
Yeah.
helps my like overall my mood, helps my skills as well on the body.
Mhm.
Since like because I eat meat. I eat meat. I am addicted to sugar. I am a dessert.
Yeah.
That's my how you say like
Sure.
weakness. So
Yeah.
I just need to balance. I notice like, okay, I eat meat
Mhm.
3 days in a row, which I don't think has been happening in a long time. But like, I eat meat yesterday, so I'm gonna eat a salad today.
Right.
Or, okay, yesterday I was crazy with desserts. I need to hold for 1 week until
Sure.
get another chocolate. And my skin is also like you can see pimples often because that's like, oh, you have a moment.
That's funny.
So just balance.
Yeah.
Isotropia. So just
Mhm.
try to be the most balanced possible and take care and emotionally it feels good.
Yeah. Have you ever had like kind of like a lot of people who practice yoga talk about some kind of serenity or bliss, or like they kind of get naturally elevated or high off of the practice? Has that ever happened for you?
I think meditation does that to me.
Mhm.
Yes. Yoga, the practice, like the physical practice. Yes. I don't want to call like, oh, blessings. Meditation, I do really feel like once we get in that spot, in that state, I mean, like I do really feel like, wow, this is really talking with God or my
Mhm.
own beliefs.
Totally.
Like, wow, I'm in like completely peace. I am completely silence on the mind. My body feels really light. Like I do say like this is the moment to pray. And of course it's been the moments when like, okay, I need to communicate with an ancestor, with like, or just ask or appreciate us. I feel like really that the meditation puts me on that
Mhm.
blessing.
When do you
or-
meditate? Is it after yoga, before yoga, or at separate times?
Well, the studio that I go, can I say the name? Yeah.
Of course.
Suka's Yoga. They do great. Some of the instructors incorporate the meditation before, some of them after. I do like both. And I
Mhm.
also think that meditation should be really like a like practice, like how you say, personal practice.
Sure.
But the guided meditation also is, I think you can go for longer, since that's why I guide meditations.
Yeah.
I on my blog,
Oh,
Isotropia, the blog. Right now I'm doing it live. Oh, this is another topic, but especially if you don't know how to meditate, or you heard about it but you never practice it, it's nice having guidance.
Mm.
So I'm just sharing what I've been kind of like discovering or learning from other instructors, and kind of like I found my own like steps to
Right.
get in that state,
Right.
and again sharing it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, for me, meditation has been one of the most life-changing kind of techniques that I've learned. Because what did I go? My first probably 18 or 20 years, and I never meditated once, like
Same.
not consciously. And then by maybe age 20, 21, that's when I started really getting interested in yoga and plant medicines and altered states of consciousness. And you start to hear over and over and over, meditation can get you there too. A lot of people like me really want kind of a big, wild, crazy experience that might be with a plant medicine or something that's very visual and immersive and shocking to your system. And then I would hear, meditation, just sitting with your eyes closed can get you to that same place. It was almost hard to believe,
Yeah.
But as you practice it and practice it and practice it, you learn that, well, first of all, this is not easy.
Yeah.
You're sitting there with your eyes closed and your mind tries to get you out of the meditation. It tries to say, hey, you forgot to get this thing at the grocery store, or, oh no, you're going to run out of time and not be able to do this thing that you were wanting to do that day. Like, your mind really tries to get you out. But once you've learned to quiet your mind and let your thoughts kind of pass, you do find a very strong sense of serenity or peace. I think it takes probably at least 11 to 15 minutes for it to start
Agree.
getting into that place. And then as long as you can go after that point, is better. I think the longest I ever did was like 2.5 or 3 hours.
Oh, wow. That's
And
a great time.
yeah, and I want to do it more often because I feel like I've only done it that long, like once. But certainly I've done an hour on many, many, many occasions. But that kind of 2.5, 3 hour mark, like, you really start to feel some changes going on with how you're perceiving, reality around you. I feel like you're in such a calm state. You can almost like be unbothered. You're like, so many things that normally would agitate you or kind of make like irk you or make you feel impatient or whatever it is, like, you don't even notice those things. It's like you're just sitting in traffic completely happy and content.
Yes,
You're just
of
like,
course.
I love this song.
I love my life.
Right.
Yes, I agree. And doing it during the morning also can like switch your day in a different way. Like it can be like the most stressful day, like, oh, I have this meeting today with these people and traffic, blah 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 blah. If you dedicate 20, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes in the morning to just like do the body scan,
Right.
the emotional scan, just like be connect just in silence, you live your life like minute by minute.
Yes.
Being more present. And
Totally.
so whatever stress you say, like someone screaming to you, you're like, you cannot bother me.
Yeah.
Like, why you are reacting like that, kind
Right,
of.
right.
So I think it's a world, like a life change, agree. And yeah, I encourage, I guess, or I suggest, like, if you people that are listening, if you never try it, give it a try. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun. And it takes practice. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of effort. So, but I think, imagine if the whole world will be meditating, or we all have that in our schedules. Like every time you get to work, everybody 10 minutes meditating or 30 minutes. Life will be a lot different, more peaceful, at least, and we will have less of the things that are happening.
Right. I think that would be an incredible thing. I feel like it might be a reach for some companies to ask all of their employees to meditate, but they would benefit. They would benefit if they did do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't do it. Actually, my friend Steven, he's taught meditation at his work, one of his many jobs that he's had over the years, but they only would let it happen after work, and it's like, well, I mean, maybe that's nice to go into your evening feeling a bit more calm, but I feel like before work would let them kind of work together better for that day and bring everyone to a similar page, maybe. If there's anyone out there listening who could advise us as to how to kind of like bring meditation practice into workplaces, give us some resources, because that sounds incredible. That's something I want to do, because we have a few companies that
That'd be great,
we run
yes.
here, and we do all kind of have our practices, for meditation or working out or running. Like, we don't particularly sit for 10 minutes and meditate each day before work, and I think that's something we should try at least, you know?
Yeah, I do work, and we always have like a pre-shift, like a little meeting, and you know how they all share the same things. Well, we're having this issue, and today we have that, and they are this a great company, and they're very positive. But listening to things over and over and over, you know, before you get to work, and you get to work with a little bit of like stress of like, oh, I'm running late, I have to get my lunch ready, I have to get ready, like
Right.
shower, putting everything together, leaving the cat, leaving the dogs, blah blah blah. So it's life is chaos. Get to work, and first thing you listen was like, well, last night we have like negativity kind
Sure.
of thing. It's like, okay, how I supposed to like smiling to my clients, but anyway, I think like, yeah, 10 minutes of everybody in silence, just sit here. If anybody wants to share anything positive, like please. But yeah, it's time to switch. Those or words, right? We all know the power of our words, so it's on our hands, each one of us. And of course these tools, podcasts, shows, internet, like we are, I think we're doing good for our generation. Let's focus on like younger generations, because like I feel like, or like olders, like it's not as natural for them.
Sure.
So
Yeah, it's harder for them to shut off that mind a bit. It's funny how it's the hardest thing to do to just sit with your eyes closed, you know, for a lot of people. It's just like, why would I do that? You know, there's almost like a natural aversion to it. And it's weird because, you know, there's so many documentaries out at this point, podcasts, interviews with people that tout the benefits. They're like, your whole life will improve, just meditate a little every day. And people will hear it, but it'll go in one ear and out the other, and you kind of won't act on it. It's so hard to act on it, and it's so rewarding though if you're able to, because again, you know, like it's something that people will go to the doctor and get prescribed medications for the thoughts that they have. Like they might not like their thoughts, or having negative thoughts, or depressed thoughts, and this type of stuff. If you just tried to meditate and sort your thoughts out, or turn them down a little in volume, you wouldn't really need, you know, to go to the doctor to get prescribed medication that's going to maybe make it worse, because you end up covering up, you know, putting a Band-Aid on instead of addressing the root cause, which is who you are and what you're doing on earth. You know, we all have a purpose here. I think it's part of our path to discover that purpose. Not everyone knows what it is, but we all have one, I think. Have you ever had an experience of learning like what your purpose is?
I do have feelings sometimes, feeling like, oh, I really enjoy doing this, and I got good response. So I think this is my purpose. But I'm still on the discovering. I don't think I have it like that clear yet. Definitely curating music, I think is I feel comfortable on doing. When I go to events, or even just like a bar or restaurant or business that I get there, and I always, you know, pay attention on the music, and sometimes it doesn't match. And I want to say like majority of the time, like, well, we are on a spa and we are listening elevator music. Yeah,
Sure.
it's relaxing, but I mean, supposed to be relaxing, but it's not. It's like music made with all, you know, like
kind of jazz stuff instead of like calming.
I mean, jazz is
Indian-
beautiful, and
I get what you're saying though.
Relaxing.
When the mood of the music, what doesn't match the activity.
yes,
you know?
yes, or also when it's, because there is amazing, beautiful, beautiful music out there, and when you go to a spa and you search on Pandora or something like spa music, they will put you like waterfalls, like
Mm-hmm.
yes, but it can be more creative. It
Sure.
can be more like locally support, I
Yeah.
guess, for from the people that is making those sounds or
That's cool. You've heard of interior designers before?
yes,
You could almost be like a sound,
sound designer.
yeah, sound
I
designer
love
for
it.
spaces, you know?
I love it. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
that
So
could be cool.
if anybody needs some anybody out there, if they need some like suggestions for music on their places, I will love that. I
Yeah.
think I don't know if it's that my purpose, that I do feel comfortable in like, okay, where are we? Okay, this is a
Like
tell
a
me.
bar or,
This is a bar. Okay, what's the topic? Sports.
yeah,
A sport bar. All right. Let's look at the locals.
right.
Okay, what you?
Yeah, and honestly, more places should open up, especially once this whole COVID thing ends, but to local musicians, even if it's just a guy with a guitar, you know, or kind of an open mic night, or even just a kind of a chill DJ, you know. I feel like that would bring more community and more vibes to these restaurants and these bars and stuff. Like there are already like music venues, places that specialize in having performances. Those are great, but I'm just talking about um, almost any kind of restaurant or one of my favorite places. Have you been to Kava Bar yet?
Kava in
Yeah.
Austin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but also I've been in Colorado Springs. There's one called Ohana, which I think means family. Don't quote me on that. I think it means family. But Ohana Kava Bar allowed me to DJ and as well perform an acoustic set with my friend Raul. And it was so fun and it fit the vibe so well for the kava bar, because at a kava bar there's no alcohol, they just have this root kava. And you've tried it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what did you think of kava?
Well, I like it that it's open. So it's a great location, Barton Springs. So and also like the vibe that is no alcohol
Yeah.
keeps it like more social, more like healthy. I just
Yeah.
think it's healthy.
Hmm.
Um,
Like a wellness culture.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think though? Because it has a really intense taste and it makes your throat all numb and your lips numb. Did you get that effect?
I did. Yes. I didn't feel it like a bad thing. I just guess like I didn't judge it. I was like, oh, different, good.
Mhm. I enjoy it.
Yeah, but no, like I didn't honestly. I will not like. Oh, I want to go back, and I missed that taste. But it was good.
It's good.
Yeah, definitely the place is. I like
Mhm.
the environment, and yeah, it would be nice to play more music there,
Mhm.
live music.
Yeah, I could see them having really dope DJ sets and
That'd be fun.
acoustic musicians just at that kava bar, because I've been to the one you're talking about as well, and it is a beautiful place. And
I'm talking the one on Barton Springs.
I think
Is
I know that one.
Is that the only one?
No, there's like 2 or 3 in Austin,
Oh,
but
I
isn't
didn't
that the
know.
one that's like very open and outdoors and
It's
there's-
like in a second level.
Yeah.
Green.
Yep. Mhm. Cool. Have you tried any other plant medicines that you're comfortable talking about?
Plant medicines. Yes, I am comfortable. Even like I told to my family, I'm always thinking of my family. Even with the majority, they don't speak English, but I always like feel like they hear me.
Yeah.
Yes, I did peyote.
Uh-huh.
It was in a ceremony. My friend Nikki invited me, and it was funny because I didn't know what to expect. I remember she telling me like, "Hey, I've been going to these ceremonies. It's great. You sit around the fire, and just pray and meditate all night." I was like, "Okay, that sounds lovely.
Awesome.
I want to try it." I look YouTube videos, peyote ceremonies. You didn't like really get the experience at all until like you're there. And of course I'm very impatient. I'm very like I need to be moving a lot. So the first hours, I would say probably 3 hours later, I was already ready to leave. I was like, okay, I don't feel any effect. I don't know what's going on. I just wanna leave. And they passed the medicine. I took it. Terrible. I almost like, but I also, and this is kind of like personal, I didn't want it to throw up because I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this, I don't like to throw up. I
Sure,
don't like the
sure.
feeling of throwing
Yeah.
up. So I was like, kind of like holding it,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't throw up. I guess I just took very little. And then I was telling my friend like, I want to leave, and she's like, just hold, like, when this is gonna end?
Sure.
Tomorrow morning. I was like, what? I have no idea what time was that, but I'm sure it was like it was a long night.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Once I feel it, I had the experience of like really connecting with ancestors. I'm from San Luis Potosí,
Okay.
so peyote is really like how you say, like, it
Is it
grows
traditional
there.
medicine there,
Yeah,
maybe?
it grows there, and anyway, I did have like a really beautiful experience. I did feel how my heart was opening,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, I just really, I saw my family in a different way. It was like, we are really like heart close, like we don't really know how to love either, like each other or to others. So I'm really glad that I had that experience. I only done it once as a ceremony,
Yeah.
and I don't regret. I really feel like it was a blessing, because I just, how, with my words, like, it really opened my heart. It felt so different after. And I've been invited to go back, but honestly, I don't feel like being called to that.
Sure.
I I feel like that was a great experience, not something that I feel like being like,
Repeatedly called back
yes,
to.
yes, no, part of the
Yeah.
culture. I
Mhm.
respect it. I think it's amazing, and I appreciate that they do, because they are just love.
Mhm.
I saw these families like just talking great with each other, and like celebrating birthdays, and it was beautiful. But I do respect it a lot, and I'm not looking for like,
More adventures in that plant medicine space.
yeah. But if I have it in front, I will connect with my inner, God, and like, all right, what's how I feel about this, but I'm into. I think that all the world, we, I mean, I'm talking. This is my own, just my little opinion, but like, I do think it's a life change, or like I think it's medicine, with the word medicine, that really heals, because I'm a little. I have my thoughts about like modern medicine and like what they really do, which is how I heard this in a podcast. Like, they treat the not the consequences, like the symptoms. They treat the symptoms, but they don't really treating the cause. So you have a headache, you have a pill, you don't have a headache anymore, but you have it again the next day, so you take another pill. So, like, earth medicines can see you like, why are you
Yes.
having headaches every.
Helping you identify the root cause.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
Yeah, and a lot of times it's things that we're doing on a daily basis that we're not really conscious of. We're just kind of in a habit of, it's like whatever it might be. I feel like you're able to get a third person perspective, like a step away from our normal thoughts, and see yourself from like a higher angle, or like you're looking down on yourself from above. And it's interesting, the heart opening that you mentioned. I personally think that the heart opening comes a little bit from the sense that we are alive and we don't know for how long. I think plant medicines allow you to get a glimpse of like this life. It is short, it is sweet, it is a very rare thing, and you shouldn't kind of like just let days go by without kind of appreciating the people in your life. I think what actually brings happiness is that peace, and that a little bit of that aspect of serving community.
Finding your purpose.
Yeah, finding your purpose, and knowing that you can make a difference, even if it's a small difference. Like, you don't have to change the whole world. But I think there was a really cool quote I heard that resonates on this topic. That is, if you want to change the world, first change yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, people should really start there.
Change your world.
Yeah, exactly. And then it'll slowly have an effect on the greater world. And, you know, that's what I think you're doing. That's what I hope to do with the things like the
Thanks.
podcast. And you're on a path to somewhere great if you keep it up. The only thing that will stop you from achieving whatever you seek to achieve is stopping, giving up. If you don't give up, it'll keep going.
And don't make it with of course, the intention is to help others. Like I say, like, I hope someone, at least one person, like, is like, oh, it's Tuesday or it's Wednesday. Let me see what's new today on the playlist. Or I know this show that they may play, or this updating every week. Let me see what's going on this week. So it can be one, it can be 10. It's like, I'm doing it for myself.
Yeah.
Hoping help others or like someone else enjoy it. But if it's 0, I'm good. You know, like I love what I do, so it's not expecting to. It's not for the number of how many followers or how many likes. It's just for like my own path, and it's what makes me happy. I like to be kind of like busy, so I enjoy. It's like, oh, it's Wednesday morning. Let me write about this, and I'm a Capricorn. So they say that we're a little workaholic. So working on something that I enjoyed. So it's fine. And yeah, like you said, don't give up if you enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, then it's not right.
Yeah. I can relate to that. I definitely think I have a little bit of that workaholism gene too. But, you know, luckily I enjoy my work, you know, and it took a long time to get to that place because, you know, you have to work your kind of way up into society or whatever it is, you know, working for other people until you kind of find that sweet spot where you really love what you're doing. But I encourage everyone to do it, you know, just self-discovery work, you know, whether it be even self-help books or meditation or yoga or plant medicine journeys. All these things can kind of show you deeper aspects of yourself that maybe you've forgotten about over the years, or that they've kind of been replaced by other attributes that we pick up just like kind of being a part of the adult world in America. But we got to stay true to our inner child, because that creativity is a gift, and I think everyone should. But I was going to say, one part about music for me that I've opened up to a lot more recently is I really have enjoyed dancing. Do you dance at all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do.
Have you heard of ecstatic dance before?
Yes, I never done it. When I've been on those events, it's me playing the music, and I enjoy it even more.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, I kind of go and dance. But I like that. It's very natural, like people not to judge and just go and try to have as much fun possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I do dance. I do dance on my own, on my room. I definitely feel the music, so I just try to match that with my body, and sometimes tell the stories with it. So that's, I would say, how my inner child gets very like connected, because my mom's used to, or like, she loves dancing. So I grow up looking at her dancing in the kitchen. So it's just a very joyful moment.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't quite have that muscle unlocked, and I didn't for a long time. I mean, I would play in a rock band, something fiction, so I would kind of have my like rock band movements going while I'm singing and stuff, but it wasn't like this kind of more this flowy dancing thing that I've unlocked to a little more recently. But there's just I don't know, like there's this sense of self-critique that a lot of people have. Like they're looking at their self and their body extremely hard underneath, like, very critically, like under a microscope, thinking, how am I going to look to other people? How do I even look in this room by myself, and they're not able to kind of let go and just let the music move them, you
You
know?
know what? Now that we're talking, well, about contagious things,
Yeah.
like how things spread, like I think joy is a very, very contagious thing, and it has to be a lot with like inner work, because like we are or like worse, or how to say, like our biggest enemy. We are the ones. I myself, I suffer a lot about like when it's about music,
Mm-hmm.
singing,
Sure.
or playing.
I know
I
what you mean.
critical myself
Yeah, me
a
too.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a work, inner work, and I'm like, I need to meditate. I need to meditate, get into that state of like silence the mind and just really connect with the sound or the present moment, and also know how to take those like past and memories and things that hurt us, and like don't do it, don't do this, don't do that. So for me, I really feel like my wings were like
Sure. Clipped, yeah.
clipped and cut when I was a child.
Yeah.
So I grow up thinking like I'm not good, or like shh, don't do too loud, or don't play like. So now that I'm finally feel like I am gonna do the best I can on my life, and I put myself out, I still have those thoughts. I'm like, that doesn't sound, or like that's not perfect, because I'm not perfect.
Sure.
Like, but I enjoy it. So
Yeah,
I need to go
yeah.
more into like, I know it's not perfect, but you know
Mhm.
what? I think it sounds cute. I need to
Totally.
tell myself I do have that conversation
Right.
before like I really feel like, okay, I'm flying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm flying now.
Yeah.
So we all have our story.
Yeah.
And another thing, like as many of us, we are really enjoying, it's contagious, and people can feel inspired, and it's our purpose, kind of like if we heal, it's a responsibility, kind of like somebody else help this other person to heal, because that's the way that we are gonna go through a different like collective reality, like when
Yeah.
we all are united and we all see each other as brothers and sisters, or as a one.
Yeah.
So I think we are in that transition that is going to happen for maybe in the next years, but we are in that transition to like see each other as one, see police, government, races, or classes, we all are one. So we all need to work like together, respect each other,
Yeah.
like collaborate and help each other to pass to the next level that is happening, and maybe kids are going to experience. But if we want to be part of that, we need to adapt to this to this newest, like, yeah,
The new paradigm.
the new paradigm.
Right.
You're right.
Absolutely.
Taking care of ourselves, taking
Yeah.
care of our bodies, pay more attention on what we listen, pay more attention on what we do now that we have a lot of free time. What are we doing with our lives? Like, really just watching the news. Like, yes, it's important. We have to keep ourselves like what's going on in the world, but like if you just like nourish your heart of fear, you've been the fear. So, and what we need more now is love. So be the love, be the light, be the like, find how you can be this like candle or light in this chaos, how you can keep yourself, even when like news are telling you like so many deaths, people is dying, people is killing each other, how you can not be part of that.
Right. Right. I agree. And it starts with ourselves, you know. We have to love ourselves first, and that's the hardest thing to do because for some reason there's some disconnect. I think meditation and yoga and just kind of these awareness practices, you know, there's breath work, there's ice baths that'll really shock you and bring you into the present moment. I've only done a few of those. I want to do more because they were incredible. Also sauna, it just like puts you into this
Detox.
primal sense of like yourself and helps you. Have you tried sauna much?
Yes.
I love sauna.
Detoxify.
Oh
yes.
yeah. And not only does it detoxify and like help your body get rid of, bad stuff that accumulates over time, but as a mental exercise, it's tough. It's kind of like a meditation because what me and my friend Steven do is we try and push ourselves to go longer and longer and longer in the sauna or the steam room, and we've done over an hour before, whereas the sign on the door says like 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever, right? But we're like, no, we're gonna do an hour. We've been working up to this, and when you step out, you're like, oh, I'm alive,
Yeah,
You
when
feel great.
energized, you sleep better,
Mhm.
your skin feels better. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
all about like wellness is there. We do
Mhm.
have all the tools.
Yeah. And just kind of finding a flow or a routine with a daily self-care practice, even if it's, hey, one day a week you go to the sauna, another day of the week you do a yoga class, another day of the week you do a meditation, another day of the week you eat a vegan meal every day. You don't have to do them all every day. Just start. And eventually you'll start to fall into love with these activities and feel better and better and better as a person the more you do them. And then by some point, it might even take years, you will be doing them all every day. It's like you wake up, meditate, do yoga, sauna, vegan meal, do my creative work, go to sleep early and get up early the next day. And it was easy because it just became who you are. And again, that takes time. It could take years, but start carving that kind of like groove for yourself. Because if you just kind of stay stuck in the way that you kind of live, if it's not your ideal place and you're not doing the things that you know you're capable of doing, then you have to make a change. And even if it's just one thing a day, just one creative, exercise that day, just try to make a song for an hour, or just try to sing for an hour, or meditate for an hour, or whatever it is. You might be a painter, you might be a poet, you might be a podcaster or a comedian or an actor or an actress, or whatever it is that you want to do. If you just kind of work like those things into your life at least on a daily to weekly basis, and combine them with these kind of like modalities that bring you into the present moment, that make it easier to access your creativity, then you can pretty much do anything you want to do. So that's my message.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you for being here, Liliana. It's been a pleasure.
Matt. Thank you so much. I
Absolutely.
really enjoyed, and I think this is great to what you're doing, and just keep like giving ideas, or putting little like thoughts, like positive thoughts of whoever is listening. Thank you.
Absolutely. So tell us again how we can find you on the internet, your website, your playlist, and so on.
Well, Sorropia Radio is live every Tuesdays at 11 p.m. For now, we're doing it on Instagram Live. I did this like live streams. It's like a 15 minutes show. And then I share a playlist every week. I really like take my time to make sense with which, well, maybe no sense, but that they sound in a good like flow.
Sure,
from
they fade in and out of each other well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Actually, Isoropia Radio has this slogan, I will say. Well, I don't know if a slogan, it has like short description will be: the endless exploration of the best music on earth on a delicate, selected playlist. So that's what it is. That's what I do every Tuesday. And hopefully coming back to KRTU in the overnight soon. And also I do have a blog, and this is more like about like wellness. I just put all like my creativity there. I'm sorry if it's a little messy. I try to keep it organized by albums. That is Isoropia, and this is on Facebook. And at this moment, I'm guiding meditations live every Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays for the month of June. I don't know when this is gonna be out, but if I also, well, live meditations at 8:15 in the morning. We connect. I play some sound bowls just to make some like sound healing.
Awesome.
And again, if it's like a meditation, something that you want to like get more involved and you want to try like a method, of course there are many and you just need to find which one you feel comfortable. So that's an option there. And I think that's it. Oh, SoundCloud. I do have also my music there as Isoropia. And if you feel like me is someone that I can take you to meditation, contact me directly. I like, hey, let's set the time. This is completely free. I'm not trying to get any like monetary like income from the spiritual path.
Yeah.
But of course, donations are always like welcome. And so you can send me an email. This will be an isoropia.project@gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you again. It's been an
Thank
honor
you.
having you.
I appreciate it.